All right, it's back to video time. We had our off season and now we're getting back into it. Right behind me, let's get right to it. This is our first planting of our melons. It does not necessarily look the greatest. It rained a decent amount and part of our fields got flooded. That's why it still looks wet in between the rows. Damien can insert a clip or two of the rows flooded. So that alone really messed up our plants because they were just saturated in water. They were just came out from the nursery, so they're transplants, just fresh out. Planted them, I think it was like a day or two after, and then they got flooded, which basically leaves them stagnant, doesn't allow them to grow because the ground is all wet, doesn't allow the ground to warm up really much because the plants can't really drink that much water. A lot of sitting water out here. Unfortunately, because of that, we have a decent amount of casualties here. A lot of skips, plants dying, just frying up. So we're gonna transplant our next batch and try and hopefully not lose that time that we planted those early. So we have our second batch of plants going in and we're transplanting them. So that's the job for today. Here's some of the melons that we're transplanting. And then back here are the watermelons. So here are all the transplants, and here is one from the first plant, and you can see that it's a little fried on the edge. Part of the stem also looks fried up, but the main stem looks pretty solid. So we believe that one will obviously survive because it's a decent sized looking one, whereas there's other ones in here like this one where it's really fried on the tips, and it still has a very sturdy stem, so we're hoping that one will also come back and not be super messed up and still can produce. But of course, this isn't the ideal way to, you know, start off your first planting. Transplanting these is not the easiest thing to be doing because you're all constantly bent over. It's basically like the old way of how we used to plant before we had our planter. We would have to get a bunch of people and just drop all the plants, and then people would make their holes, plant them. Not the funnest way to be able to plant them. And now that we have to replace all of these, it is not going to be fun, but it's what we have to do so we can get hopefully to a good start to our season. That was not the greatest. Also, another thing that I didn't say when we first started planting these, and we got these from the nursery, part of our varieties that we got from the nursery were already kind of had some type of disease from the nursery that spreads within nurseries usually, and they were already vulnerable then. So that's part of the reason we also lost a decent amount. And my brother and I have been out here trying to control the squirrels, the jackrabbits, always lots of different factors to be able to lose plants. So, you know, we try our best and hopefully we can get off to a better season than prior seasons, and, you know, taking one step at a time. I gotta get back to work now. We got about 2 trays into the ground of transplants. They're over there at the beginning, and I'm over here towards the end. We started looking around, and we noticed a few of them were lost from, of course, being too wet in our field, too saturated with water, so they were just stagnant and then died. And then we have lost quite a bit to gophers, squirrels, jackrabbits. I think the biggest one that we're noticing, it looks like, is jackrabbits, because my brother and I have been staying out here in the evening times to try and control them. But squirrels, they go to bed when it's nighttime, whereas jackrabbits, they do not. They can still come out and mingle, so they will come out here and still eat the plant. So we're putting it on jackrabbits that are doing most of the damage out here. Unfortunately, we wanted to plant in this area, but we're deciding to try and move to maybe somewhere new now, because we knew it would be a problem being in this area of our field next to our barns over there, because all these areas surrounding us, the grape vineyards, they do not control any type of pest in their field. It is infested in their field, so they of course come over to our field to be able to go eat. And knowing that, we tried to take them on, seeing, because this is our best ground, we don't plant here often because of that problem. We were gonna try to see if we can control them, but clearly we're having a hard time. We're still gonna try and control so we can keep whatever plants that we have that are existing. But for now, we're gonna end up planting farther that way, over where the tractor is, and that's my brother over there disking right now, so we can start laying new mulch, which we'll get videos of that of course. And my brother will do some drone clips, you know, send some drone clips now, maybe, hopefully insert now of what he's doing. But for now, we're gonna cross off on the transplanting. Not doing too well, so I'm gonna look for an alternative plan. I'll let you guys know. Right here are the peppers. I'll get a closer look on the way back. Right now we're heading off to go plant these transplants that we were supposed to plant in the other planting over there by the barns, but instead we're gonna plant them over here, and we just got to get them in the ground. Hopefully they take, and then they can start growing, so we're not too behind schedule. That's the plan, at least. You never know. Farming's a gamble, life's a gamble. So I'll show you guys our watermelon plantings as well, which are over there, and our pepper plantings. They look really nice. Those two plantings good. Our melons are the ones that are shaky with the walk, so hopefully we can get on it, and I'll show you guys us planting the melons for now. Got the little trays of transplants that we do have, because we weren't expecting obviously to plant a full planting today. So we just had it all on our truck. We didn't have a trailer of the plants yet, but here I am bored, so I just wanted to show you guys some of the cherry fields next to us, how the cherries are looking. Some look good, some have some spurs on them. So anyways, just wanted to show you guys that. We have all these rows right out here that are fresh, ready to plant. We're gonna plant more melons here. This is our other varieties of melons that we expect to do better under not as great of ground, and that's why we planted our more vulnerable melons over at that end where everything got messed up. So far it looks like the ones that are in the ground that's quote unquote not the greatest soil is doing better, just because they don't necessarily get attacked until later on when they start producing melons. But hopefully that is not the case this season. Hopefully they're fine and they don't suffer too much. We lose very little, because losing plants is a part of farming. You're gonna lose something at some point along the way, whether it's mother nature, animals, whatever it may be. So we just try to minimize losing plants. And here's this child, which she needs to get out of my spot. I'm planting with my sister. She needs to get in this spot because that is my spot. I always sit on this side. My brother sits on this side. So Maya, get on over. I kicked my sister out of my spot. I get this spot, which I always control the water because I'll remember to do it, whereas she won't remember to do it. What happened? I don't know. Something's wrong with my sister, and we're about to start planting. All right, so I get to plant with my right because I'm a lot better with my right. She's planting with her left. She's more like a sub-in. It'd be a lot better if my brother was here because he's left-handed, so he's a little better with planting with his left hand, where she's gonna struggle. I struggle myself with my left hand, so I never like sitting on that side. Yeah, just planting melons. So 1 1 1 1, hopefully, if she can keep up with the speed we're going. Right now we're starting off. Whee! It's usually starts off very slow because My uncle doesn't remember how fast we can plant, which myself alone, I could plant this speed. So we're gonna have to tell him to go quicker. I just don't know if I'll be able to record and plant at the same time because I need both my hands if we're gonna go quick. So there's that. Here is part of our first planting of the other melons, and then here's the ones that we just transplanted. So they are not that far behind because they are relatively close in size, except for these have a couple flowers on them, whereas these, they are younger, so they are not going to have flowers on them quite yet, but they are decent size. So hopefully the ones that we're transplanting can catch up with the ones that we already planted, because we're trying to count that as all as the first planting and basically make up for the ones that we already lost. So we already put in the few transplants that we brought, and I believe we are going to get more right now. So I really don't know how many more, but we're supposed to get more so then we could at least finish that row that we're on. Here's the closer look at the peppers we planted. These peppers have a much better stand, and stand meaning like there's not many skips or dead ones or eaten ones. The stand overall is good. There's a skip here and there, but not many. Like here's 2, but the rest look like they got plants on them, which is good. Very good stand. And then right now we're gonna hand transplant all the watermelon skips that we have in here with some male pollinators, which are the seeded ones. If you do not know, any of the seeded watermelons, those are the males and those are the pollinators. You need those ones to be able to produce the female ones, which are the seedless ones. So any skips, we just fill them in with some pollinators just in case, to make sure they have enough pollination, for because we always do a 3-to-1 ratio, 3 females, 1 male, so the male can pollinate the females. And so just got to get onto it now, and we are going to continue planting over there as my brother keeps disking. He's got a job over there, so we won't see him this video. This is a good time to do a disclaimer. If I show my sister in the video at any point in time and she gives a dirty look, just know that's her face. We just finished transplanting hand transplanting the few rows that we have of watermelons that are right here. My dad just got back, loaded up the planter with our melon plants. Got the whole trailer full of the plants. And all of these are supposed to head over into these empty slots over here that we have, hopefully to make up for the ones that we lost over by the barn. So we're gonna get it now. My brother is no longer right there with the tractor, which means he's behind the cherries on this side right here, and he's just disking over there. But hopefully he got some good clips for us to watch, because it's very satisfying to see the field get disked like that. So back to work. We just finished planting all those empty rows that we needed to fill up, so technically that's our second planting that we put in to hopefully catch up to the first planting. That we don't know really what's going to happen with that one. But other than that, I think we're done for the day. It is lunchtime, so that's my favorite thing to do. And other than that, leave a like, subscribe, turn your notifications on, do all that good stuff. See you guys next time.